This month, June 2022, we teamed up with Rebo to release All We Got Is Us 2, a full-length graffiti video now available on our Patreon. The video runs 53 minutes long and features parts from TD, Dessa MTA, Smo, Rebo, Bat, XSM, Asset, Deck 2DX, Rehab Iraq, Charlie the Hustler, OJ Skid, Zam, Volvo, CO, Zers, Panic, Talker, Xaver, South, Anger, BO, Snens, and MTNW. The entire video was recorded on High 8 tape, paying homage to graph videos of the past with a mix of both old school legends and active writers from New York's current scene. Lots of work went into this video, and we are super proud to be releasing this project with Rebo. The video will not be made public for a very long time and is available only via our product tier on Patreon. Each month, we provide our members with products like silver mops, books, sticker packs, and prints. The video is available to all of our members on our product tier. We also have new episodes from Rebo LNE and Zers OTL on our Patreon. These are available on our lower tier, which gives access to our entire episode library. Interviews from Dessa MTA, Mike Iraq, Bat, Ola, Rebo LNE, Zers, Sabe KST, Wayne COD, Diego127, Dual Risk, Host 18, XSM, Cash 4, Les YKK, and Sake. Members also gain access to AZ Radio, conversations of Z and I speaking on topics from graffiti to mental health, martial arts, fasting, and the modern world. The link to our Patreon is in this episode's description. Once again, immense thank you to everybody who's ever shown us an ounce of support, and to anyone who watches the video, we thoroughly hope you enjoy it.
Hey, this is Claw Money, and you're listening to Angel and Z, sponsored by Art Primo. What is Art Primo, you ask? How dare you? Art Primo is a graffiti shop that was started by writers for writers in Seattle in 2001, and they have stayed true to their roots for over 20 years. Offering everything from caps to inks to paint to refillable mops. They got nibs, they got jibs, they got caps, solids, zines, books, and more. And their how-to videos and YouTube channel are legendary. Art Primo strives to keep their prices low and quality high, hand pouring all of their mops and inks in their Seattle warehouse. Shipping orders on the same day, and their site is a source of information for all types of writing tools. Tools for what? Tools for the revolution.
So you were saying that when you moved over here, you didn't know anybody?
I knew like two people. I knew like my homie Tenzin and my friend Seven, and like maybe a couple other people. But my friend Alex, who like ran the Noah thing, he invited me to come out. Or I came out originally just for school kind of, and then I was like, oh, I want to go to New York to skate and stuff, because he told me about the Noah thing. He was like, oh, we might be filming for this video, like you can come stay with me for like a couple of weeks. And so I ended up going with him and my friend Elise. Stayed at his crib for like 2 weeks. I was supposed to be there for like 2.5 weeks. I ended up staying for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, it was super sick. But at first I didn't know anybody. I like knew of all these people because I seen on like Instagram and stuff, but never really interacted with them.
How did you meet Seven and Tenzin?
In LA, actually, like a year before. I was like, took a trip to LA and was staying with my friend Brandon, and then we were just skating and I just met them.
So when you moved out here, you said you were initially coming for school?
Yeah, for school originally, because, I mean, I didn't really want to do, my parents were like, all right, if you want to go to, like, New York, you gotta, like, you can't just, like, go. You gotta do something. And so I, like, originally came out to go to school, and I got, like, a scholarship to go to school, and I was like, all right, cool, like, could do this. And I started when I was, like, staying with my friend Alex's. This was, like, pandemic, so I was doing online classes. I was like at his crib doing online classes. Like, we were filming for the video at the same time, so I'd go like film and then like bring my phone with me, and there would be like online classes, and I'd like set my phone up, and then we were like filming at a spot, just like going back and forth. I would just just did that for a while, and like ended up, I don't know, it was just like.
How did it feel like coming to New York, just arriving here, getting used to the area, like? I mean, Seattle is also a big city, you know, but, like, New York has its own, like, style and hecticness, you know what I mean?
For sure. No, it was definitely different. I was like, I didn't really know what to expect. I've been here, I was there, like, when I came when I was, like, 14. and I visited Alex again, and I remember liking it a lot. I was only there for like 2 days, but then I came back, and I've always wanted to skate there, and I was like, okay, like this time I'm gonna come skate. And I first got here, and I was like, this shit is so crazy, like, cause it's so much busier than Seattle. Seattle's pretty small, like, I mean it's a big city, but you know what I mean, like, it's not that like, there's not like too much going on if you're not like.
Especially if you're living in the East Village,
Yeah.
it's like really concentrated, a lot of events happening, like you probably run into people you know all the time.
Yeah, all the time. It's like, almost too much. You can't,
you
don't even get like a break, but it's awesome. It's cool.
Have you ever thought about moving back to Seattle?
Yes and no. Like, I miss my friends a lot, you know what I mean? So I would love to go back and like kick it with them, but no, I don't think I would go back anytime soon. Just to like live there, visit for sure, but I don't think living there. I don't know. Like here changed my life way too crazy, like so fast. I was like, and I liked it a lot. I was like,
so how long have you been living in New York for?
It's almost 2 years now, so not too long.
And how much has it changed your life?
Like a lot. I don't know. First got here, skated, and then was skating for Noah. That Noah video came out. And I was skating with my friend Seven, and Seven was already on like Supreme and stuff. And I had like good friends with him, so I'd skate with him all the time. And then he would go film with Bill, and like I was still on Noah, and I guess Bill was like talking about wanting to like film with me and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm down, like for sure. I don't know, he's sick. Like all his videos are awesome. And then I kind of just remember, like slowly, I would just like started like skating with them and hanging with them more. And I remember one specific time they invited me to go on a trip to Philly, and like Seven was like, yeah, you should come. Like usually like Bill doesn't invite anybody else, but like you should come. Like this might be something good. And I was like so stressed because I was like, felt like I was like betraying my homie Alex, because I was like, oh dude, like I feel like this is like shiesty. I'm like going like film with Bill and like shit like that, and like filming for this other video. But I was like, I don't know, maybe this could lead to something. I don't really know. I wasn't trying to like press it, but I don't know. Went on that trip to Philly. We skated a bunch, and then after that, I ended up actually going back to Seattle for a second. And I was like chilling in Seattle, and then he hit me up out of nowhere. Like I was like skating my local park, and he like called me and he was like, "Yo, like we want you to like skate for Supreme and shit." And I was like stressed because I was like, I'm down, but like I didn't want to talk to Alex. Like I was like, didn't want to do that, dude. I was like bugging out. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I literally like was like knew I should do it, but the thought of like talking to him, I knew like in my head for some reason I was like, oh, I'm about to like, he's about to go off on me. Like I'm gonna call him and he's just gonna be like, yo, fuck you. Like what's like what the hell? But it wasn't like that at all. But I was definitely stressed about it. I like wrote out some shit before, like 2 nights before. Not like nights before. I like wrote shit on a piece of paper, like exactly what I was gonna say. And I was like waiting to call him. And like every day I would like look at the phone and I'd be like, should I call Alex today? And then I'd be like, nah, I'm not gonna. I'll do it tomorrow. And eventually did it and called him, and it was like so mellow. He was just like, yeah, no, like of course, like understand, like it's all good. And then ended up going back to New York. Stayed with him and my friend Elise, who moved out there. And then after that, like, started skating with Bill and stuff more. And then, like, slowly tumbleweeded into this now, which is, like, crazy.
Are you filming any stuff for them now?
Yeah, filming, like, just a bunch of stuff, like, I think, like, maybe, like, a video, I don't know, like, in the future that might come out. But just filming, like, street skating and, like, around the East Coast and stuff.
So you lived in New York for how long until that shit happened?
I was here for like doing school for like 4 months, and then ended up going back to Seattle for like 2 months or something, because I had to like handle some stuff back home, and then was like told my parents, I was like, because that stuff happened. My mom wanted me to stay. Like my mom was like the whole time. My parents were like, yo, you gotta come back, like begging me to come back, and I was like, nah, like I want to skate and stay. And then ended up going back for a second because my parents just sold their house, and like it was like a big move, so I was helping them move and stuff, and came back. Ended up staying like since then. That was like in the winter time, like 2 years ago. So it was like I was like in New York for a good 6 months before I officially moved.
So what did you what was the school thing for? What were you gonna do in school?
I was like design, I don't even know, dude. I was like, kind of just was like, okay, I didn't really want to go, but I was like, okay, well, this is, if I can take the opportunity to do it, I'll try something. And it was like this program called Strategic Design and Management, and it's like a business major program where like integrating design and business at the same time. And I don't really know all the details about that. It was just like whatever, and I was like, I'll try something. But it just kind of sucked because it was like, I guess like your first year is all like those prerequisite courses
That have nothing to really do
nothing
with
to do with anything. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to like, if I was gonna do something outside of skating, I wanted to do like creatively or like something like artistic. And I just like hated it. And it was online too. I was like bugging. I was like, dude, I can't like focus and like look at a screen. And like, I don't know. It was funny. It was just like a lot of just back and forth with that stuff.
So would you say that like your current goal and objective revolves around skating in terms of like a career, or like where are you at right now with that stuff?
For sure. I think like that became more of a reality in the last like year, to like finally like, cause now I can like live off skating right now, which is like crazy as fuck. And I'm just like, that's what I'm like, the last like year I've been like trying to wrap my head around that, you know what I mean? Like being able to like, okay, like I guess this is kind of like a job now.
How old are you?
20. I just turned 20 like in February. Yeah.
And you're just living off skating? No, that's fucking really awesome.
In New York City?
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
East Village, it's really good.
It's crazy. And I don't know. It's like I'm trying to like wrap my head around it, because it's like, it's definitely, you know what I mean? It's definitely like a change of pace, but it's cool.
I mean, it takes some confidence to get to that level, I feel, you know what I mean? Because like I feel like when you're starting and you think that like, oh, there's no way like I'll get to that level, there's no way I can live off skating, then in a way you won't be able to, you know what I mean? It takes a certain level of confidence to be like, yo, I'm gonna get to this level because I know that's where the money is, or the sponsors. And like how, so just going to the beginning, like how did you start skating? How did you find the interest in it? Like,
I started skating when I was like 8, and my mom's friend, her son was doing like a skate camp or something. My mom was like, oh, you should go to this skate camp. It was this place called Inner Space in Seattle. It's gone now, but it was like super sick. Like it was like the only indoor skate park in Seattle, which makes no sense because it rains like so much there. But they had like skate camps in the summer, and I remember going for a week, and I literally just like, I went for 1 week, and then I like just would go like all the time to Inner Space. And my mom was like working, both my parents were working. They were just pretty much just like, that was like daycare. So they would just drop me off at Inner Space. And I would like skate with my friends there like all day. And this was for like, probably for like 4 years. I would just like skate Inner Space. And then eventually, like I was like super into skating. I was like, oh, this is sick. And then a local park like 10 minutes from my house opened up. And from then, like I would just skate there like all the time. Like every single day, just like after school, just go to Jefferson, skate with all my friends. I met like all like my childhood friends growing up there, and like would skate with them all the time. And yeah, dude, there's so much shit. I'm like remembering shit right now. There's like so much crazy stuff. Like I just remember growing up and like skating Jefferson, and then like my homie Ian, he films like these things like Genesis videos and stuff like that. He used to film these things called Beacontage, because the area I lived in was Beacon Hill, and so it was these little like shitty like montage videos of like all our friends. And literally I just remember like after school we'd be like, me and my friends would be like, oh, we gotta go back to Jefferson and like film for Beacontage. And like he would drop all these videos like once every like month, and we would just like skate and like just chill and like do that, like just carelessly skate like for hours. So yeah, I don't know, that's where like the main part started, just from there.
How long was it until, like, from when you started skating until you were riding for someone? How long did that take?
I was skating for, like, I'm trying to think when it was. Probably when I was, like, 14 or, like, 15, because there's a local skate shop, 35th. The dude who runs that, Tony, he's, like, the sickest dude, like, hands down. Shout out to Tony. He's, like, holds it down for Seattle and like the skate scene there. I used to go there a bunch, and he would like know me because I was like skate with Ian and like see the videos and stuff. I don't know. I was like 15 or 16, and then I would like send him footage. Like me and Ian would go film, and I would send him footage, and then like he would show him, and then he has all the connects to like. There's like reps that you can get, like there's like Pacific Northwest for like Nike or whatever skate company. So he has like all the plugs to like, you know, network that. And then I would pretty much just, yeah, he pretty much hooked all that shit up. Like would send the footage and then be like, oh, like these people could like send you like a pair of shoes, you know what I mean? And so I would like get shoes from them.
Who are you getting shoes from?
I think the first, I think it was Adidas, I think. Yeah, it was like Adidas, and I was getting Adidas shoes every once in a while. And my cousin actually, he like worked at the Adidas store in Portland. Like he worked in like some other department, but I remember like I would go to Portland sometimes and like stay with him and like skate the Adidas stop, and then it like all worked out at a certain point because my cousin was there, and he'd be like, oh, like you can meet all these people. I'd be like, I was sick, and I would like skate with like, I don't know. I forget what was happening. There was like a demo I remember going to in Portland. It was like Adidas thing, and like Mark Succi was there, and I think I was like 15 or like 14. I remember being so hyped, and I was like, yeah, like I'm getting shoes like same thing as Mark. Like I'm like, yeah, for sure. But yeah, all that stuff kind of worked out, and I was getting Adidas for like a year or two, and then ended up getting Converse. Just through, like, reps and stuff. It wasn't, like, real, like, you're, like, getting shoes and stuff. But I got Converse for, like, maybe, like, a couple months. And then after that, it was, like, I was getting Nikes for, like, a while from the rep out there. And so I skated Nikes for, like, a minute. And now I'm still skating Nike. But
Is that how Habitat happened? It was just through, like...
yeah, through Tony. He, like, hooked it up. Like, he pretty much just, like, sent out the word and, like, got boards from them. Got boards from Habitat for a second. Dude, I've been, like, forgetting all this shit. Holy shit. I'm like, it's, like, unlocking, like...
I just saw, it was, like, some... it wasn't, like, Tampa, but, like, there's, like, some website that's just, like, oh, this age, this is the board sponsor or whatever. So I saw it was Habitat, and I'm like, oh, shit, that's funny.
No, that was a Tampa Am, I think. Me and my homie Dylan went down to L.A. And we always, like, wanted to go to, like, those contests. And I think I was, like, hurt, or, like, it was a damn Am. And I think I was hurt, and I just went... And, yeah, that photo was fucked up, too. I looked so crazy in that shit. That photo was gnarly. But that was, like, my first, like, going to, like, a contest. But, yeah, that was around the same time. I was, like, getting Habitat boards. I was through Tony. And, like, I would just, yeah, I skated Habitat boards for, like, a year and a half, pretty much. And then after Habitat, I got, like, Baker boards for a second. Because I knew Cater and, like, a couple other people from, like, skating in LA, like, years before, just, like, being a kid, like, I don't know, skating around. And this other kid hit me up one time and was like, oh, you should, me and my friends want to, like, come to Seattle, and, like, we were wondering if you could stay with you. My friend Eli, he runs, like, Melody. Have you ever seen that stuff? Yeah. It was, like, all those kids, they came and they were like, oh, we're going to do, like, a Melody trip here. Like, we're wondering if you have a place to stay. And, like, somehow my mom, like, let, like, 7 boys just, like, come and, like, chill with us at the crib. Like, I don't know how she let that happen. I was, like, trying to convince her for, like, weeks. I was like, please, like, you don't understand. Like, all my friends are going to come. We're going to skate. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be chill. She let him, and we have, like, a basement, or we did have a basement thing that we used to, like, rent out for, like, Airbnb and stuff. And, like, my mom was like, all right, fine. You can just use that space for, like, a week. So all that, Cater... my homie Cooper, forget, like a couple other people in Seven. That's when I met Seven, actually. They all came and stayed
That was the first time you met him?
That was the first time
you just
I
came
met
to
him.
stay at your
Yeah, like all these kids, like I seen before, just like on Instagram and skating. I like briefly knew, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of knew, but they all came, and I kind of just like met all of them. They were just staying at my house. I was like, oh, this shit is like kind of crazy, but it was sick. Like we skated for like a week, and then Cater was like, he's on Baker, and he was like getting Baker boards, and then he pretty much helped, like, plug that in and was like, oh, like, told Andrew. And, yeah, I remember, I think it was, like, a week after they left, I was in, like, PE class, and I like look at my phone and I got like a text from Andrew Reynolds, and I was like, what the fuck? Like literally like, it was like I still had like half of the school day left, and I just skipped school. I just left. And I went, like the skate shop was pretty close to my school. Like saw the text and he was like, yo, like want to hook you up with boards, and I was like, no fucking way, like tripping. I was like, what the hell? Dipped from school, just like went straight to the skate shop, like showed Tony and like my homie Corey.
You just walked in,
like,
you were like...
just walked in, I was like, yo, look at this shit. And they were like, yo, what? And like, that was pretty sick. I was like really hyped on that. And I ended up getting Baker boards for a while. And that shit was super sick. Like, that was like a push for me. I was like super hyped after that. I remember like going to the skate park and I like skated this rail at like my local park that I never skated before. I was just like juiced. I was like, yo, we're out. Like, we're gonna like film and shit. And from then I would like film with my friend Ian like every day. Like, I was like so hyped. I was like, all right, we're gonna go out and like skate a bunch. And yeah.
How did it go from like you're on Violet and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about? Like, was it Baker straight to Violet, or like what happened?
It was Baker boards, and then I was like getting hockey boards for a second after that. And then from there, once I like did the whole Supreme thing happen, and I was skating with Bill a lot, Bill had like been talking about wanting to do something, and I was just like, oh, like, sounds cool, like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really like, at that point, like, I was like, I had stuff going on, but nothing was like really like, I was just kind of like skating and like really trying to just like make stuff work. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool, you know what I mean? Like, just the idea of like a board brand, I was like, oh yeah, for sure, like I'm down, I guess. Didn't really think too much of it, and then slowly, like, he kept like actually like putting it into fruition, and I was like, oh shit, this shit's like actually happening. Ended up like, yeah, Bill was pretty much just like, all right, like, I really want to do this. Like, if you want to do this, like, it's your decision, but like, you're gonna have to like leave what you got right now, and then like just put trust in it. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And then right now it's me, Seven, homie Patrick, Efron, Chris. Yeah, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Yeah, but that's all of us. And he like told me all that, and my homie Kyle, and he told us all that. And I was like, oh shit, these are like all my friends. Like, it's all people who are like I'm close with and like cool with. It sounds sick, you know what I mean? Like, it definitely sounds, it's like sick because you kind of like starting something from the
ground
beginning.
up, yeah.
And it's with people that you're comfortable with. And I was like, yeah, it seems sick. Like, we all have like creative input and like what we want to see and how we want to see the company kind of like go, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Bill's like super genius, like creative and filmer. Like, he's good with all that stuff. So I think it's like super sick. I don't know. Like, I trust him a lot. He's definitely got the right idea. He cares for people. So.
No, it's really cool. I feel like that company is like obviously very unique, just from the name to like how the image that is put across,
Yeah.
and the riders on it. You know, it's pretty cool. Yeah, starting something from the ground up. It's like, yeah, if you ride for another board company, also sick, but they're probably they might be more established, and then like you're joining a thing that's already kind of created,
Exactly,
as opposed to like. Having creative input in what happens is like that's really cool.
Yeah, and you probably have like more motivation, like you said,
For sure.
more creative input on what's, you know, like you feel like you're really a part of what's going on, like you have a say. You know?
And it's sick when like shit really like, I don't know, like shit actually comes out, like you like we'll maybe talk about like, oh, we want to make this like jacket or this like this hoodie this certain way, and then you like, or this board, you know what I mean, like, and then it finally comes and you're like, damn, this shit is crazy, like, you know what I mean? It's like you really put your thought and your mind into it, and then you made some shit, which is super sick. And yeah, I don't know, I'm excited for more of that type of stuff, you know what I mean, as well as like the skating part too. Like, it's all gonna, I feel like, do really good. So
in terms of like skating for, I guess, a job, if you're gonna call it that, or just making your living off of skating, has that changed I guess the way you approach skating, or like do you deal with like deadlines or any type of pressures that weren't there before?
Yeah, for sure. I was actually talking to my friend about this, my roommate, the other day. We were like having a conversation about like, yeah, I was telling him like my relationship with skating has definitely changed, and not for better or for worse, but yeah, it's definitely different. It's like, yeah, you have like, okay, like we're gonna go on a trip to like film this thing, and like you're on the trip and now you have like a week to get like this amount, like a certain amount of tricks, you know what I mean? And now it's like, obviously it's always gonna be fun, but it's definitely like, I remember we took a trip to like Milan and like we filmed some shit for like a week, and I remember getting there the first day, I was like, you know what, like, I was like, I never really been out of the country like that, so I was like, I want to go like see Italy, like for sure. So I'm gonna get there, like get all my clips, and I'm gonna like chill the rest of the time. And I like just busted my ass. Like the first day I got so bodied and like rocked, and I was like stressing. I was like, dude, like I gotta like, you know what I mean? There's like a pressure to like, you want to do good and you don't want to like just do like bullshit, but you want to like, yeah, definitely it's a little bit more pressure, but it's good, I think, in a sense. Like
it gets to the point sometimes where skating actually feels like work.
Sometimes, like not really work. It's just like, okay, like, yeah, like you might try a scary trick or something, and it's like, before, like if I was gonna go like film with like Ian or like my friends, would be like, I could take like a 2-month break or like a 4-month break before I want to try some rail again. But now it's like, okay, well, we have like a deadline for this video. Like, I should like be on it and try to get like a trick or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but you don't think that sometimes it could actually push you to getting like instead of like
sure.
overthinking or taking your time, like?
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Like I think a lot of stuff I wouldn't have done. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of things I didn't think I could do happened in the last year just because of that like pressure kind of. And it's good pressure. Like the first time I went out the country was for that Stallion video, and that was like my first Supreme trip, and I was like, I didn't really know. I knew Seven. Like Seven was like the only person I really knew, and me and him went out there, and like all the other fools were out there, and I was like, just mad nervous. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like new to all this, so I'm like, okay, like I don't really know. I guess I just gotta like skate. You know what I mean? So I was definitely like in my head. I was like, okay, I gotta like pull through and like do some shit that's like, for my standards at least. You know what I mean? Like good. And I don't know. Yeah, that pressure is like, it's not bad. It can definitely push you to do. You know what I mean? What you think you can.
How long were you out there for? Like, how was that trip?
That trip was so sick. That was like, it was crazy because I like literally. I never been out the country, and I was like, this is gonna be insane. Like I'm gonna like walk out the plane and then like nothing is in English and people are gonna be like talking a different language. I was like, this shit sounds crazy. And I don't know, my idea of like going like out of the country was like way crazier than like it was. It's not like as bad, you know what I mean? Like people still like spoke English and like it's not that bad to like communicate, but it was really sick. Skating out there was crazy. Like, even the time difference, the whole thing kind of felt like a dream. Like, it was, like, very, like, yeah, very, like, I was like, whoa. Kind of, like, stoked every day. I was really, like, shocked on everything.
No, your story is crazy, man, because, like, you're 20 years old, and you pretty much, like, built yourself from the ground up in a way, like, through just sheer work. And, like, I don't know, getting messages from Reynolds to, like, traveling to Milan, like, it doesn't. I don't see where like thinking about going to college or pursuing like anything else would come into play. So like, what does your mom or parents think about like you pursuing skateboarding as like a?
I think now they're down for it, but for a while like it was not like, especially my mom, like shouts out to moms, but she was definitely like not. I don't know. She didn't. Not that she didn't like it, but I think it was also like me getting hurt when I was younger. And then, like, she just, I think, wanted me to be a well-rounded person and somebody who was, like, interested in a lot of different things when I was younger and growing up. And I definitely didn't, like, I had a pretty one-track mind in terms of, like, I kind of, like, knew that, like, I wanted to skate. And, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna skate. Like, that's all the fuck I want to do. And I used to just get in, like, so many arguments with her because she'd be like, no, you can't. It's like that classic, it's, like, story. It's like, oh, you can't be doing other shit. It's like shit like that. But, I mean, yeah, at the time, I don't know, I was, like, younger and stubborn and just trying to not really, like, paying attention to that. I was like, oh, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna, like, do what I want. Like, blah, 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 all angsty and weird and shit. And I was like, but now I think slowly, honestly, like, once I started making money, my mom was like, all right, fine, you got it. Like, you're doing good. But for a minute, like, even, I don't know, it's like, I remember when I get like boxes and stuff and shoes, my mom was never like, not that she wasn't hyped, but bro, my mom would just be like, I would like show her, like I'd be so stoked that I got some shoes. My mom would be like, who'd you get that from? Like, why'd you get that? Like,
It's like you can't pay rent with shoes.
yeah, it's like, it's like, she'd be like, you need to make your own business. I don't know what you're doing. Like, you don't got no shoes? Like, so what? And I would be like, I'd be like, you know what I mean? But like when you're younger, you're like the one person or like the people who you feel like, if anything, should give you like a little bit of validation. You're like, come on, like please.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it was low-key. I think it was a great thing. You know what I mean? Because I was definitely mad a lot because I was like putting so much effort into like one thing, and it was really just for like me and my friends and like doing that. And then I was like really just trying to like prove to my parents I was like, I'm like doing this. You know what I mean? I'm really trying. And it didn't feel like that way sometimes, and I would be like bummed. I'd be like, oh fuck, like this shit sucks. But I'm like too obsessed with skating. I don't know. I can't like not do it. I like get like, I got like my brain is like, so I feel like.
Your parents, they still live in Seattle?
No, they don't live in Seattle anymore. They sold the house and they live in Texas now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So do you ever go out? You go out there to visit them and stuff?
Yeah, recently I did. They live in Georgetown, like outside of Austin.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, it's pretty great. It's like Timmy Turner town. It's like mad like cookie cutter and kind of crazy. It's definitely different than Seattle and like a bunch of other places. But
what was your upbringing like in Seattle and stuff? Like we went there. We were doing episodes with like random graph writers out there, like Arab and Lunch and stuff. And one thing that struck us right away was the amount of like homeless people just in the street. Like the tent city was absolutely crazy. And I mean, in terms of graph, that city's crushed.
Yeah.
Like the highways in New York don't really run. Highways over there, it's like straight like breakdown lane, crazy stuff. And in terms of just how is your upbringing there like?
No, that shit is insane. Cause like if you go on the highway on I-5, there's this place called the Jungle, and like there's hella pieces and shit like always running there for like ever, just cause like that shit is like underkept. Like I remember. That shit was like a war zone at a certain point. Like cops wouldn't even go under that bridge because it was like, it was like just a lot of like, it was like overtaken like that whole area.
What was it like train tracks or?
No, it was just literally like under a highway. Like this whole probably like 2 mile span of just like people just like chilling there.
It's crazy.
And yeah, Seattle's like crazy with that stuff. Like Seattle, Pacific Northwest in general, it's like definitely. You don't really notice it like until you go like somewhere else and then you come back and you're like, damn, like a homeless population and like a lot of people, you know what I mean, aren't really like, it's definitely, it's weird. It's like it's not the best. But
it's funny because before the show I was actually looking up statistics of like homelessness in Seattle, and last year in 2020, it said that Seattle had only a homeless population of 12,000, right? I'm not saying only, but then I looked up New York, and they said in January of this year, there's 45,000 homeless people here, which is crazy to me because when we went there, like we said, it's more...
You see it way more.
You just see it,
visibly right there, you know what I mean? And like I didn't even know that number existed in New York. Like I know there's a lot of homelessness here, but I think it's because there's like more shelters and more programs, maybe.
More places maybe for them to be.
Yeah. So like Seattle, I don't know if that's one of their issues is that maybe they don't have that much, shelters.
I think they do. I don't know because, well, my mom actually, she used to volunteer like at my school. It was like connected to this Jewish temple, and at the temple there was like this like women's like homeless shelter thing. And sometimes, like, my mom and I would go, like, my mom would stay there a lot, like, and help the women there at the shelter. And I like, those groups, I'm, like, trying to think, like, there was, like, about, like, 5 around that area, I remember. Like, in that kind of zone. That's, like, kind of close to downtown Seattle. But I don't know. I feel like, I'm not sure. I feel like there's definitely... I think it's just, like, more visible and, like, more prevalent. Like, it's definitely, like, it's almost like going to, like, it's like San Francisco and, like, going to, like, the Mission Street and stuff like that. Like, that shit is, like...
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Like the same, you know what I mean? Especially when it's visible, it's, like, I don't know. I almost feel like I'm not like jaded to it, but it's definitely like growing up, especially skating like downtown. You like there's a place called Westlake. It's like Seattle's like only plaza really, and there is like pretty crazy with that shit. And like Third and Pine and like around there.
I heard that in Seattle, if you don't have a tent, like if you're a homeless person and you don't have a tent, or if you burn your shit or whatever happens, if you lose your tent for whatever reason, you can get a new one. Like they have some sort of state program that gets you a new one, and
Really?
I think that they're not allowed to kick you out. I could be just this could all be bullshit, but this is what I heard. They're not allowed to kick you out, and like we drive on the highway, and there'd be like nice, like pretty much beautiful nature, like it was
Yeah.
like moist fucking nature.
Yeah, for sure.
And there'd be like a
Everything.
ill row of tents with trash that was going down it because they've been throwing like the trash has been being thrown for
Yeah.
I don't know a long ass time it
Yeah.
seemed like, and I was like, yo, this is absolutely insane because I had never been to Seattle before up until then, and I just knew about it for pretty much graffiti.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing else about it. I didn't know what it was gonna be like.
It's strange too, cause Seattle's such like it's like a up and coming like tech city too, and like cause Amazon's there, like Google, all that shit is like all like up and coming there, and there's like a lot of like, I don't know, Seattle's pretty white too, like you know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of like, I mean it's like diverse in certain areas, but the majority of Seattle, honestly the majority of Washington is, and yeah, it's definitely like there's the contrast there is so crazy, especially like with certain things like I don't know the way people act too. It's definitely interesting. It's like the trash thing too. I know just like every time I would go to school, we'd pass not that highway, but it would be on the street called Rainier, like this big avenue, and there's literally like the same shit. Like it's like you just see these like mounds of stuff and like people, and it's I don't know, dude. It's like yeah, I'm just trying to think like in terms of like what or like how I really reacted to it when I was young. I'm not sure because I was fucking. I don't know. I feel like especially when you skate too, you kind of just like used to seeing shit like that just like a lot. But I don't know. I just remember like kids from my school and like shit like that. Like I definitely don't think like if you're not actively like participating or paying attention, people don't really like seem to like translate it. You know what I mean? Like I remember kids being in my school being like, "Oh, I don't even want to take the bus," like and shit like that. I was like, "What? Like, why?" Like, you know, I don't know.
How different is the skate scene in Seattle versus the one in New York? Is it big over there?
It's pretty big-ish. No, I don't know. It's not like huge, but it's definitely more like personal. I think you know what I mean. It's just because it's a little smaller, and I feel like everybody kind of knows each other. But yeah, especially like cause like 35th North, like Tony and like all those fools, like they put on for, like a lot of people, like throw events and stuff like that. And so I feel like a lot of like skate traffic and stuff is like kind of just goes like central to that. Like people just kind of like skate and film and like yeah, kind of like around that area. I don't know.
How long do you think you're gonna? Do you plan on leaving New York anytime soon? In terms of like living somewhere else?
No, I don't think so. I don't really see myself like it was weird because for a minute like my parents were like moving in the process of moving and I wasn't like officially here yet and I was like just staying on my friend's like couch or like I was on this air mattress for like a couple months and yeah it felt definitely weird because I was like, oh, I don't really have like a home right now like to go back to because my parents are like in the process of moving and I'm like in somebody else's space and I feel kind of like odd about that. And I remember for a minute, like for a good like couple months after that, I still kind of felt like not really like, oh, this is like home now. But I think just recently I feel way more comfortable and like even going on trips and stuff, like I don't like for me like I wouldn't before it was like, oh, I could like go back to my parents in Seattle, like that sounds comfy, but like now it's like, oh, I want to go back to New York. I want to like be around like the people I like and like love and yeah, around there. honestly, I think the biggest thing that helped me was just, like, the people I met. Like, I met some really sick, like, awesome friends that, like, really sealed the deal for me. And if I didn't meet those people, like, or if I didn't have, like, friendships like that, I definitely, my experience here would be way different. I don't even know if I would, like, I don't even know if I'd be staying here. It'd be way different.
What do you think the biggest problems with the city is?
In New York?
Yeah. Because it is pretty, like, in terms of just, like, if someone is used to more of, like, a suburbs area, it is kind of, like, super hectic, you know, like, just, like, 2 blocks from here, it's, like, absolutely fucking hectic.
Yeah.
Whereas you go somewhere else, like, you go to San Diego or whatever, and, like, it's not the same at all.
No.
And that fucks some people up, but even just in terms of, like, how do you feel taking the train? How do you feel taking the bus? Or just the police presence here is pretty bugged out. It's a lot. There's like a lot of police here versus most of other cities. You know.
Yeah,
so
No, when we went to Seattle, about the police thing real quick. We were there for like a day or two, and I seen like 1 cop car.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think like here it's way crazier than Seattle and like other places. It's definitely like because in Seattle it's like the cops there suck, but it's definitely more like you have to really be doing some like crazy shit for people to like for some shit to really pop off. But here I think it's like just because the presence is so much more like prevalent. I don't know. People still be wilding though. Like even like I don't feel too bad taking the train, but I know that like I don't know. Like I've had homies like shit like weird shit like people be pulling knives on people in the trains and shit, and like that shit's always like I don't know like not the best, but I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. I'm like
no, dude, don't worry about it at all. Yo, the worst part for me, I think, is the fact that like whenever I see like I essentially not too long ago, like I take the train every day, and whenever I see on the news that there's an attack on the train or some shit, it's usually for no reason, which makes the average person feel like they could be next because like I don't actually have to do anything. I can just chill and then like get like we had a graph writer, this kid Modus on this show, and he was saying that he was chilling on the train, like completely chilling, and I think he might have, like some dude stepped on his backpack, but like just a little like edge of the thing that you pull to tighten it.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even that, but he like maybe moved it or he moved his bag or nothing crazy.
No, he said he wanted to sit down and the dude's thing was like the strap was slightly on the chair and he like slightly moved it.
Yeah.
And then
the dude pulled out a fucking huge machete.
No fucking
and put it like
on
to his
throat,
neck, and was like, "Say it again," or something like crazy.
Dude, what?
When you hear shit like that, I'm like, dude, this is crazy living here sometimes.
Yeah, no, this is definitely crazy ass shit. I'd be like, somehow I'd be like ducking all these situations. I'd have like, bro, I was with my friends, me and my homies, Seven and Biggie. I remember like one night we were out. I think I like went home early or something, and I'm like speaking for them, but this story is insane. Like. They were both, like, the deli, like, right across the street from me. It's usually, like, it's pretty chill. Like, there's, like, not too much goes on. It's, like, I don't know, it can get hectic sometimes, but usually it's pretty mellow. I guess they went into the deli, and they were chilling, like, ordering a sandwich. And this dude just walks in, like, hella mellow, just, like, looking around. And he just, like, yells. He's like, who the fuck wants to lose their face?
Yeah,
like, who the fuck wants to lose their face?
Shit.
And, like, my friend Biggie and, like, Seven are, like, looking at this fool, like, what? Like, what the hell? And the dude's like, who the fuck wants to lose their face? Pulls out of his jacket, like, a hacksaw blade. And just starts, like, revving the hacksaw blade. And my friend, just knowing my friend Biggie, he's pretty funny, dude. And, like, he looked at the dude and was just, like, I guess the dude came up to him and, like, was up at his face, like, with the blade, like, trying to, like, slice him. He's like, who wants to lose their fucking face? And, like, my friend Biggie, like, pushed off of him and, like, ran out. And, like, my other friend was, like, on the corner, and he was, like, trying to, like, figure out how he could maneuver and, like, get out of the fucking deli before, like, some shit got, like, crazy. And I was, like, I think I maybe would have been there if I, like, didn't go home, like, 20 minutes later. I'm just, like, dude. But that be happening to me a lot. I don't know why. For some reason. Like, I remember even, like, a couple months ago, we were, like, chilling on, like, the East River. And I think that it was, like, oh, we were chilling there for a while, and then me and my friend were like, oh, let's just go back. Like, my roommate was there too. Like, 5 minutes later, like, all me and, like, my homies got, like, robbed. And my roommate called me. He was like, dude, like, they, like, went through all that shit, like, took my phone and shit. And I'm just like, don't understand. Like, that shit is, like, crazy sometimes. Yeah. And it happens out of nowhere, too. It's like, you'll just literally, like you said, you'll be chilling and, like, shit is, like random shit will happen.
When you think about the fact that probably just like 2-3 years ago your life was drastically different than what it is now, and like obviously anyone who skates around the world would, they would love to be in your position. Like that's like if they were to think of like maybe their dream or the final stage, like they would think of like where you're at right now, and it all happened so organically and shit. What comes to your head? Does it like what do you think of?
In terms of like, just like the whole thing, just like.
Yeah, just thinking like about how it all played out and how you came here for school.
Like all the time, like literally every day. I trip on it all the time. Cause sometimes it will hit me randomly too. I'll just be like chilling and I'll be like skating and I'm like skating with people like I've looked up to when I was younger. You know what I mean? And I'll just be like, how the fuck am I here right now? Like what the hell? Like. There's like a little mental note to myself. Like I'm like, all right, like I gotta like calm down. Like I get like anxious for a second. I'm like, what the hell? But I think it's crazy. I mean, I'm eternally grateful for all the shit that happened. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just me. Like I said, like it was like just a bunch of crazy shit that happened at the right time, and like just having people, like good people, around me, and like being able to guide me in that way was definitely like the biggest thing. Like I said, like Tony, like even all my friends, like growing up, like if I didn't have them, like I wasn't like, we would all like skate together and like push each other to skate. And like if I didn't have those people, it would just like, shit just like would not have worked. But it definitely trips me out all the time. I like think about it and I'm like, I'm still like wrapping my head around. I think I'm a lot better with it now. Like when when this shit was first happening, I would just be like, I don't know, I wouldn't really not that I wouldn't take it as serious, but I wouldn't treat skating like as of like, I don't know. I think I always got afraid, like I didn't want it to like ever feel like a job. Like I'm like, I don't want this shit to like ever get to the point where it's like a burden, you know what I mean? Which I don't think it will, because I think I just like it too much for it not to, but I think that's like a little bit of a fear sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to get jaded off of it, because it's like easy, like especially like if a lot of good shit is happening, you know what I mean? It can be easy to get like jaded with that shit. Like you like see it with people who skate like all the time. I don't know, like shit happens. It's like the classic thing, like oh you go pro or something and then you just chill. Like you're just like that's all you want to do.
That's what sucks. Like when you have something so ill and you're so used to it, it's almost impossible to not eventually just have that be normal to you. Like
that's how it kind of feels sometimes now, but not like in like a like I'm like jaded off of it. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes I'm like, okay, this is like what I do now, so I guess I have to like really act like it, you know what I mean, and like embody that. And I'm still getting used to doing that, because I'm not like a I don't know, like yo, I'm this skater, like I'm doing this shit type of person. I just kind of like I like to do it and I love to do it, so I just want to like skate. But
what were some of the videos that you came up on watching? Would you watch like old shit like Christian Asoy or like a transition shit like Trujillo or anything like that, or was it more like street stuff?
I had like a phase where I wanted to learn how to skate bowls hella bad, because it just looked so fun, like people flying in the air and shit. I was like, whoa, I'm learning how to do that. But most of the time I would watch just like random skate videos. I had like this random Osiris video that I used to watch a bunch, and this dude Shuriken Shannon had this part. I just remember him doing like a trick in this like bright ass pink shirt, and I like literally remember that watching that all the time. And I got like this pink Hurley shirt when I was young. I rocked this pink Hurley shirt, like I think I got it like a Ross or something, like a Marshalls or some shit, and I like rocked it like all the time, just thinking I was like, oh, this is like this shit. This is like this shit right now. You know what I mean? And like videos like that Osiris video, a lot of like shit, that Inner Space Park, they used to just like have a bunch of like old videos and like play like shit like that. it was like weird, like random videos, like vocal tour videos and like
There's
cliche,
just like
like
the best, yeah.
like this shit, all like those tour videos and like shit that gets you like stoked when you're a kid. I would watch those so much, and then at a certain point, I kind of like I didn't stop watching skate videos, but yeah, I kind of like slowly stopped. I was more just like wanted to skate and wanted to film a lot.
So do you keep up with like all the shit that happens now? There's so many people skating.
I tried.
So there's like a new video every 2 days.
I try to, but then sometimes it's just like too much, and I just don't even like. I'm like, dude, I can't do it. So there's too much stuff happening. But I mean, all my friends' stuff definitely. Like my friends are like they'll drop something or like somebody I like really like. I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely pay attention. But yeah, not too crazy. It's just like this. I don't know, especially like Instagram's like oversaturated
there's too much
with that stuff. It's like it's a little crazy.
And everyone's so good. Like I remember
everyone's fucked up
like,
good. It's like not okay.
Like I'm 26, and when I was like I don't know how old, but when I was like early on skating, the videos that came out, it was like what seemed like to me at least was like one big video like a fucking year. Mm-hmm. Like DVS Skate More, that was like a big one. It was like Lakai Fully Flared, that was like a big one. Volcom Let's Live, that was like a big one. Then it was like Baker Has a Death Wish Summer Tour. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what I remember. And then there wasn't like every single literally day. Like I can't possibly keep up with it. And I kind of try too. Like I try to, but I'm like I don't even appreciate this shit anymore. Like I don't appreciate like it has to be really like stylistic for me to appreciate it, because I could see the craziest trick, especially now with like it could be like fucking I don't even know, like with the Olympics and the street league, where people can do lines that are like out of a video game, and they've done them a million times in the practice runs, and now they just have to do it one time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this isn't even skating, bro. Like this is like athletic activity. You know what I mean? Like it's
literally
crazy.
That's how people treat it though. There's literally like two sides to it now, like Olympic skating and just like skating for fun or whatever. But I mean, yeah, that shit is crazy. Like I knew kids, like younger kids in Seattle, who like their parents were like on their ass, like
really,
you're not eating tonight if you don't land this like 540 like type shit like that, and it's so bonkers. Like what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. That shit is different. It's like, yeah, it's more like a sport. It's like you can really. It's kind of cool because it's like I never really thought about skating like that, and it's kind of cool in the sense it's like, okay, if you want to get good, like there's like a formula for it now. Like you know what I mean? Like you could learn how to like tray flip front.
The only thing that sucks.
The
only thing that sucks, I think, is that like it takes away the purity or the innocence. I remember I don't even know, and I walked into a skate park. It was like the first time I ever been to a park, and I was super hyped because I had been watching videos of skate parks, and I'm like finally at one. And I see some dude pushing, and I'm like, damn, he like looks like he'd be pretty good. I couldn't ollie or nothing, and he did a kickflip, and I was with my homie who I ended up skating with for mad long, like the two kids I was with, and I was like, yo, this fool just did a kickflip. I was like, bro, go ask him if he's pro. But I was being dead fucking serious. Like he just did it no problem, just pushing, boom, easily.
Of course.
And then looking back on it, I'm like, now everyone knows the level of how good you could be. You go to your local park and it's like not someone doing a kickflip, it's like someone doing a fucking front blunt pop out or something crazy.
Insane.
And it is sick, like that it progresses like that, but just the lack of purity. I honestly really like All-Timers, like All-Timers Dime, Supreme Palace, any company like that's fucking their approach to it. Jim Greco's shit. Yeah, Jim Greco's that's like my favorite. Like their approach is more unique, and it makes it so that I want to watch that video out of all the masses that I'm seeing on Instagram. Like if Jim Greco posts something, I'm gonna watch it.
You're gonna watch it. I mean, because it's authentic, and like that's the shit. It's just like, I don't know, shit's like oversaturated now, and it's like with anything. You see that in like skating and like with like clothing and like, you know, all that shit. It's just like it's too much of a formula, and like I think kids now try to like appeal to like this formula and like, you know what I mean, like making like trying to like emulate this thing that doesn't really like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's not gonna last really. Like you can't just like make like 1,000 edits and then like not skate a street spot or like not actually want to go skate and like go like film and have fun. You know what I mean? You can't just like do that because it's like performative and it's not like gonna really pan out the way you want it to. But I feel like a lot of kids nowadays have that kind of like skewed vision of it, and it's a little bit. It sucks sometimes, but it, like you said, it makes the people who are doing sick shit stand out in a way, because it's like, okay, well, you really know, like, those people are, like, putting in this, like, you know what I mean, doing what they want to do, like, putting in the work for it.
And I feel like that was something that it was, I think, was really cool about like, I mean, still companies today, but specifically the older companies, or maybe since I was younger and I was viewing, it seemed so crazy to me that each company had, like, its really own appeal, like, like Powell Peralta doing Search for Animal Chin. That was like before my era, obviously, but that's like a one-off, their style. They came up with this.
Yeah.
Then like Thrasher Mag had a whole different appeal from like Skateboard Mag, or like Antiheroes, very different from like Girl or Chocolate.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the sickest shit. So I'm like, you gonna wear the shit that you actually resonate with, as opposed to everyone doing the same shit with like some SoundCloud song in the background. Like, it's not the same thing, you know?
No, it's not the same thing. It's just because, like, those, it's not like, yeah, those people aren't taking, obviously people take influence from certain things, but it's like, it's not, I think that's the thing, like, you can, because people make videos and shit now, and, like, it's like, obviously you can take influences from certain areas of whatever you want to do. I feel like this is for anything, like, creatively, like, you just, like, can do that, but yeah, like I said, like, you can't put it on blast without, like, and expect it to like work if it's not, if you're not actually being like true to it. Like, I don't know. Instagram is so interesting, and I like have like a love-hate relationship with that shit so much. I don't know. I think it's cool because like you get to see people like do cool shit, and it's like people that you like. You're like, oh, like they're doing things, and now it's like almost like a business tool. Like it is really, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to have it now. But if I had, in my perfect world, it would not exist. That would be really sick. I kind of, like, don't. I just get bummed on it. Bro, I remember, like, so many times, like, I'd be, like, on it. For a minute, I would get so bummed. I would, like, look at it, and I'd just be, like, scrolling. And, like, not even, like, liking anything or looking at anything. Just, like, aimlessly scrolling. Like, just, like, not, like, you know what I mean? It's, like, white noise. It's, like, you're not actually processing anything. And it's just... After a while, I got so over it, and I was like, dude, I can't do this. I was like, I'm like about to just actually delete this whole shit right now. Like, I can't do it. But then I was like, I also can't do it, because, you know what I mean? It's like, I kind of need it to promote stuff and, like, do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, witnessing all this, what would you say your goals are now with, like, your future and skateboarding and everything?
I just want to film. Like, I've never really, I mean, I've had a part before. Like, my friend Ian, he filmed that Genesis video. And that was, like, when I was, like, from, like, 15 to like 18. I was like filming for that. But I think now I just want to make a part or like put out footage that's really like my own, you know what I mean? And like something that I'm really proud of for myself at the end of the day. I think like, yeah, I don't know, because I got like my standards for myself are like whatever, and like I just want that. You know what I mean? I have like an idea of like how I want shit to look, and I just want to like now really try to execute that and like push myself. You know what I mean? I want to just do shit, and I like want to put out footage and do shit that people are like, oh shit, like I didn't even know you could do that. That would be sick. Which is like scary as fuck, and I don't know. There's like risk with that, but you know, I don't know. I want to do something cool.
So you wouldn't say that you're in your prime right now? You still have a lot to achieve, you would say?
I got some goals. Yeah, I want to. I don't think so yet. I don't know. I want to. Hopefully, I can like. Yeah, I think I want to like progress still. Like, and there's like a lot of things I still want to do, and even after like if I make something that I'm satisfied with in the future, like I want to probably do something else.
Where would you put out this footage?
Probably, I think maybe either with Bill's gonna come out with the video for like Violet stuff, and that's like more recent footage, which I'm really happy about. That's like gonna come out soon, but then like Supreme stuff I think in the future. But yeah, the footage with Bill I'm hyped on, because like I haven't really put out footage like that in a while, or like more recent stuff. I feel like people haven't really seen it, but yeah, I think that's gonna come out. That might come out like next week, sometime. I don't know, or in the future, in like the next couple of weeks.
Oh, sick, man.
So I'm like hyped on that to see stuff. Like, it's not like all. I don't even know. That's not like the best stuff, or to me, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
have
think
like
it's the
you have
best
your own
stuff,
standards.
but it's stuff that I think like it'd be sick for people to see. At least for me now, because like my older footage and stuff, I look all like weird and shit, and I got like.
Do you think so?
I don't know. That's just me though. I got
Yeah. No,
I don't know. Because it's not like I've changed. I feel like so much in the last like 2 years. Like myself now is not myself like a year ago or 2 years ago. And so I think just style wise and just I don't know, becoming more my own person. I guess I'm only 20 or some shit, whatever they say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it's gonna be cool. I'm hyped to see it, bro. Yo, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Of course.
It's been awesome, yo.
Thank you so
It was
much.
really cool meeting you, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
sick.
Appreciate it.
Peace.